Okay, we're back, and I'm talking with the mayoral candidate, Ms. Zulieka Baysmore. Can you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Thank God. Let's try this again. Okay, hold on 1 second. 1 second. Let's take it from the top here. Here we go.
It's a new thing that's sweeping the land when you don't know which way to go. The answer is Jesus and Elevation Radio.
God bless you. Oh, my goodness. This is Elevation Radio 1. I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner. And I thank you for taking the journey with us. For some of you, it's been about 3 times. It's all right. Sometimes you have to work hard to get perfection. And so our subject matter today is real black candidates. Real black candidates. And it must be so controversial that Satan has tried to stop me getting this program 3 times. Why is the media afraid of real black candidates? Why is the media afraid? And so we're going to be interviewing mayoral candidate Mrs. Zulieka Baysmore. She is very patient. And we are going to ascertain why black candidates are overlooked by the media. I'm talking about real black candidates who are doing it for themselves, candidates who are not sponsored by corporate entities, real black candidates. And so we're going to go, before we get there, to the verse to rehearse by the most beautiful part of this program. That's my wife, the Queen, Lady Leora, from Job 30 and 30. Go ahead and read. Okay, you're gonna have to do it again because I didn't have. Go say it one more time.
Okay. Skin is black upon me, and my bones are burnt with heat.
Not a problem. And that was Job talking about himself, and Job was going through some issues, and he had some problems. And if you're black here in America, you're going to have some problems, I see. Walking while black, driving while black, breathing while black. But we're talking now about not Minnesota, where you can't, you can't live without somebody putting a knee on your neck. We're talking about Baltimore. Baltimore, my God. Baltimore's got some issues. It is the number one. It's not a very good thing here. Number one for bed bugs, it says here. It says that USA Today called Baltimore as the most dangerous city in America. My God. And it's got the 8th largest school system, but 84% of the city's school students are so poor that they qualify for free lunch. Now, we're going to talk to, just tip of the iceberg, we're going to talk to mayoral candidate Mrs. Zulieka Baysmore. I'm not sure why you want to do it, but who is
Yes.
Zulieka Baysmore?
Well, let me say, that's a good start-off question. Why do I want to be mayor for Baltimore City? Well, as you know, I'm a businessman. I've been a former CEO of a high-tech firm, Xeron Automated Business Services. We were in-house with the Booker T. Washington Foundation right here at 2000 K Street, Northwest DC, a couple of steps from the White House. CEO sold the company, become a regional vice president for A.L. Williams, one of the top RVPs in the country for about 5 years. Then went on to pioneer females into the all-men's arena of professional boxing by becoming the country's first sports manager, which is where I met my husband, actually negotiating the Don King contract with him. And so we went on to yield him, and he became a 3-time boxing champion, 2-time USDA and IBC champion. And, going and traveling all over the world. My daughter in 2002 came to Baltimore, but before she came, she called and asked me, Mom, what do you think about me going to teach in an all-girls school in Baltimore City? And, I had not been back to Baltimore in some years. My mother, my grandmother, great-great-grandmother, great-great-grandmother, born Baltimorean. My brother and I was born and raised in Washington, D.C. And I truly believe that God used my oldest daughter to bring me back to my roots. But when I arrived here, they wanted me to promote televised boxing because they were about to open Horseshoe Casino. And I got to tell you, when I drove into the city, not having been here for almost 10 years, okay, I used to come down for the laser light shows. And when Odell's was on North Avenue, North Avenue was bustling, and Pennsylvania Avenue was bustling in the 70s, 80s, and early 90s.
Did you say Odell?
Odell.
Hey, Odell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you now. It's better. It's clearer now. Stay right
Yeah.
there. Odell's. We can't say that too much because my wife used to go there.
Go where? Go where?
He wasn't always in the church, but go ahead now.
You said they used to go where?
It's okay, sweetheart. Okay.
Yeah, coming into the city in 2013, I
can't hear you.
Looked, and I thought there were protesters actually protesting by sleeping in tents on Russell, right by the 40 bridge and the 83, 95 bridge. And I'm like, I said, well, they must be doing what they do in Lafayette Park across from the White House, where they protest for affordable housing. But then going out of the city early one morning, a young lady that was pregnant walked out of the tent and was holding the sign. And I'm like, wow, okay.
You're fading again. You're fading.
Yeah. Okay, I said, oh, wow, they're homeless. Okay. So I said, wow, how can I bring millions of dollars here by bringing televised boxing when they open Horseshoe Casino? And they have people that are actually living in tents right when you first entered the city off of 295. And so I began to talk about this and wanted to promote the first ever 2-day working summit to help Baltimore end homelessness. And I ran into and met at a Mother's Day event, Tina Flowers, who was at the time the executive director.
You mean, I gotta say it right now, Reverend.
Yeah, now she's Minister Christina Flowers. Yeah, excuse me. Let me correction. Yeah, Real Care Service Providers. So
yep.
I drew up an outline, and I wanted to get the mayor to allow us to use the Baltimore Convention Center. So having all the people, the powers to be, that I wanted to participate in this 2-day working summit, Mayor Pugh asked for my outline. She kept promising me a meeting, but then she snuck Ben Carson, the first person on my outline, into the city for a meeting. And I had ears in City Hall, so they called me that Wednesday when he was in the city. And he said, Zulieka, Pugh is showing him the outline to end homelessness. And that, yeah, and so,
if I had known you then, I would have told you never show a Baltimore City politician anything that you have, because they don't have any ideas.
My vision. You're right. They rob you of your vision here. I found that out the hard way. So let me tell you what happened is Ben Carson gave the city $30 million additional dollars in 2018 for their 2018 budget to help end homelessness. And they had $51 million total. So they spent $4.8 million. And then she turned around October of 2018 and turned over $30 million to a nonprofit. And that's when I really got annoyed by that. I said, wow, I said, not only do they rob you of your vision here, but they don't put the money on the ground here in which the money was supposed to be used for. And
Can
God
I ask you?
kept tugging at my soul. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I need to ask you a question, right? Because it's very important. Very important. The $30 million went to a nonprofit. Was this nonprofit in Park Heights?
You know, it's on my lives. I actually did a video, eBay behind the scenes, and was trying to do a follow-up investigative story on where following the money. And as a matter of fact, I believe it was the money that it was supposed to start the community blocks and the opportunity zones and working with faith-based. And they only gave away in at the beginning of 2019, they had given away and awarded about $2 million of that money. And
that's right.
That's where we lost track of the money. And so that compels me.
I can't hear you. It's not clear.
I said, I need to run for mayor here. I said, because these people are not going to do the right thing with the money.
No, it's
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, professional organization of criminals. Did you see the Fox 45 expose of how the Board of Estimates actually, which of course should not contain certain people on it, but they kind of write their own paychecks, right. They write their own salary, and they actually have written money for $2 million to give to community association, and we might as well just get right down to it because that's what we do here. It's the Park Heights. I think it's called Renaissance Association.
It is Renaissance.
Yeah, it's headed by a female black woman who looks black, but evidently, if you're not helping the black community, because people are saying we get 10 years, we're looking for the projects to come to pass. They get money all the time, but there's nothing that comes to the black community. So you look black, you sound black, but if you're not helping black people, then you are not really real black, you're fake black. And here's another pet peeve, and that is, which you can take it from here, is the pregnant fake mayors and the ex-black mayors could never get together to solve the murder issues or any other issues here. But they could get together, go down to Annapolis, and sit in front of the governor and beg him for money to fund the really the auspices of the Jewish and other communities that and other ethnicities come to this town annually once a year and have a racial free facility of Park Heights. Give that community nothing, basically. Maybe a few jobs, but basically nothing. I think it's a shame.
Yeah, it is, and so that's why I'm running, because I've already done a lot of the legwork. I've already met with large developers that was responsible for redeveloping 70% of Washington, D.C. They love my vision. This time I'm not giving anyone my vision. You will hear a lot of the Democrats. Sheila Dixon follows me. Ricky Vaughn was following me. TJ, Smokey, a lot of them were following me and follow me on Facebook, where they would take some of my statements and make it their own. And I said, this is so sad, I have to run, because I didn't see one of those other 29 candidates that really had a plan and that really know how, as a business leader, to actually put the money on the ground and really get the redevelopment done. And so that's what compelled me to run. And I've got to tell you, we protested outside of Fox 45 because, as you know, I attended 7 of those Fox City and Crisis Town Hall. When they had the one over at Little Italy back in February, as soon as I walked in, people started coming, shaking my hands, hugging me, the young people. There was over 300 people at that event. I think TJ, Siraj, and also one other candidate that Fox allowed. And, you know, Sinclair Broadcasters actually own Fox 45 here, local. And so they started chanting, put her on, about 24 people. I mean, people I've never met yet, and they really wanted to hear my agenda. And so it got so bad where they had to, the director of content came over, introduced himself, gave me the card, asked me to come in the back of the room, of the space, and said, Ms. Baysmore, I'm so sorry, we can't put you on. We didn't set up for that many. And I'm like, okay. He said, but we promise the next one we do, we're going to put you on the podium. And they kept making me that promise. But see, I'm the Republican that they don't want you to hear, because I am the only one that's running that actually has a plan. And I'm the only one that has about $2.5 billion to put on the ground to Baltimore.
You hold a second now. We got to have order in this courtroom for anyone who doesn't know anything about Baltimore, who's listening across the globe and across the nation.
Right.
Here, and so I'm sure that I will be getting a black mark and a black eye for having you on. But I feel this way, that if you don't have all of the answers and all the selections, how could you make a positive choice if it's already been, or has it already been? Absolutely. Has it already been selected for us?
The election has. We've been putting that out there, but you know, we've got a campaign of commercials and videos, spots that's going to be airing starting tomorrow morning on the C4 show. I've been involved in campaigning all around while COVID-19 has been taking place. You know, I've been on educating people for the past 3 years and have been hosting Z-Bay behind the scenes. We've done 617 episodes, so I'm very known by the young people here and by a lot of the politicians and various people here in Baltimore. I think that's how one way we met, okay? So I think Baltimore is ready for change.
Can I ask you this question?
Yeah.
Since we're flowing, and you happen to bring it up, I didn't bring it up. I'm going to ask you a question. That is, if you were in the seat of power as the mayor, what would you have done differently about the plague of the coronavirus? And another part here is to how would you have dealt with Ronald Trump coming here without a mask?
Oh, that's a good question. So 5 Thursdays ago, I was with Real Care Service Providers. Christina Flowers asked me to meet her. They were down on Falls Way because they were having a situation with homeless people being just let out as like everything was normal at 6 a.m. in the morning. Channel 2 and Channel 5 was there, and they actually asked to interview me. And so I actually interviewed with them and told them, I said, look, all of you know by now that I'm running for mayor on the Republican card. I said, but I've constantly been lending Mayor Jack Young my mindset. I said, right now you need to be closing the shelters, because you're going to get communicable spread very rapidly, because these shelters, especially Code Blue, will let people out at 6 a.m. And where do you think they're going to go when everyone is supposed to be sheltered home? You have several inns and motels that are closed. They're empty. You need to take and house the homeless. That way you can actually test them. You have 2 positive cases already down here. And when they're let out in the streets at 6 a.m., where do you think they're going to go? They're going to go throughout the community. They're going to go in the grocery stores. They're going to hang in front of 7-Eleven. They're going to hang in front of the gas stations. I said, so you're making this situation and allowing a lot of people to become vulnerable. I said, so I'm going to be calling and reaching out to even your director, Michael Breverman, and Department of Housing, because that is a good opportunity while you house them in those local inns and motels, that you also obtain a consultant to come in and provide PRP services. That way you can actually see what their needs are. And if y'all got $13 million in your emergency housing fund, Cherry Hickey's no longer there. And you can remember that in 2017 I did an interview 45-minute interview with Cherry Hickey. And so, my thing was 4 days later he did that. But what he did, he housed 286 of them, of the 586 homeless. They closed the shelter because now they've got to thoroughly clean those shelters. And they put them in Nights Inn on Security Boulevard. And once again, Christina Flowers called me. So I went back out and I publicly told him, I said, look, you've got inns and motels right here on Russell that are suffering. They're empty. Why are you taking and giving them, the county, the money to house our homeless instead of housing them right here in the city? And at the same time, using it. Well, a week later he heard, because a week later he started housing them on Russell Street. Okay? So I've been lending my voice of reasoning.
We're going to stop right here.
That's number one. Can you hear me?
Right here. I can hear you. Let's stop right here.
To reopen, the city, because you asked me 3 questions.
Oh, okay.
To reopen the city, we actually. Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead and ask. I think you want to interject and ask me another question regarding that.
I don't want to get in trouble because I'm talking to the next mayor. I want no trouble. Hold on a second, Queen. Do you want to ask her a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can't hear you.
Is there someone asking a question?
It's my wife, the co-host. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Yeah, keep on, because she has cut herself off the line.
Okay. So
go ahead.
Once again, he's Larry Mayor Young heard me, reacted, and did something. Okay, moved some of them back here into the city on Russell Street. So if I'm being that voice of reasoning, and I keep lending people my vision that have no intentions or don't have the know-how and the leadership ability, why am I not doing the job? Baltimore needs a strong leader, and a leader with 36 years of leadership and business experience is what they would be getting in me. Now, when you talk about Donald Trump, I happen to have worked with Donald Trump before he became mayor, back in the 90s. Okay, matter of fact, I negotiated a contract where Kenny Baysmore fought for the IBC championship on Donald Trump's first Fight for Children's Night, where we raised $2.5 million at the Washington Hilton in D.C. And that made all the front pages of the news. And so I had a really good working relationship during that event. And so I happened to know this man's mindset. And he didn't just call Baltimore out for no reason. To the contrary. When he came in, once again, I was that voice of reasoning over the weekend. I said, look, Jack Young, when he put out there with the executive officer for Baltimore County a week ago, and he didn't want to start phase 1 of reopening the city, and his whole blame game was on the state, on the governor. And I put it out there. You're the leader of the city. The city is independent. You cannot continue to draw off of Governor Hogan when you are the leader. Okay? Governor Hogan, the state can help provide certain things, just like the federal government in terms of the White House, can help provide certain things. They worked tirelessly around the clock to get the country to this point, and they're like the people that you go to at the 11th hour because they've totally restocked the stockpiles of what is needed in this country for a pandemic. But see, the bottom line is, as a mayor, you need to make sure that you are at the round table on a weekly basis with your DHS people, with your University of Maryland doctors, with your John Hopkins scientists. We have the best of the best here. And if you're not being the leader and you're not sitting at that table and you're not looking at the numbers, because I'm a numbers person. I've been in the financial industry 32 years. So I look at numbers. If you should have known to have John Hopkins, all of these facilities. Sinai has already started preparing for it. I was down there the day that the Army Corps of Engineers came in to the Baltimore Convention Center. I did a live from there where they were setting up the 250 beds, preparing for the surge. So that's what leaders do. They don't put a blame game on governors when they're the leader of a city. What they do is they follow those.
Better watch yourself. Get yourself in trouble. Go ahead.
So this is called America. This is the freedom of speech. You asked me a question. I'm letting the public know, whoever's listening or will hear the recording, that you guys have other options when it comes to leadership. And I've made a sacrifice to step out, even though I'm a down-to-earth individual. And a lot of people would call Donald Trump, which I feel is down-to-earth. That's why he's just himself. A lot of times I may shoot from the hip because I'm real, okay? But I'm a businesswoman and a shrewd one at that. And people that actually really do know me, my small core of people, they know who I am, how I am, and that I work, I see something, I focus, and then I work to achieve it. So we already have set the whole plan up where we can build and we can create affordable housing. We can house our homeless. Together, we can do this. But it's definitely time for change. Well, anytime you have Joe Biden talking about you're not black if you vote for Donald Trump, what does black make you if you vote for even Joe Biden? He's a white man as well. So I think what Baltimore needs to come out of, especially my people, we need to come out of like we're still on this island. Okay, because I've traveled the world, a lot of blacks do not look at the world the way blacks in Baltimore City look at the world. A lot of people in Baltimore City have not been out of their communities. They have not traveled. Okay, a lot of them are still living under the thumb of invisible segregation. But since the crime, and a lot of them are being suppressed by these so-called policies that aren't elevating them, that aren't uplifting them, but are keeping them suppressed. It's okay to give the needy food. It's okay to give out clothing. It's okay to give out Christmas gifts. It's okay. I've done that. It's okay to give out gift cards. That's okay to our really needed. But it's not okay to take homeless and create a business out of homelessness for the 70% of nonprofit that makes up Baltimore City. It's not okay to make volunteerism extreme. It's not okay because the Bible tells me if a man doesn't work, he doesn't eat. So we're going to create the opportunities in Baltimore City.
Got to bring it in. Now, because we've talked 80% on homelessness, and there are other facets if folks are going to consider you to understand. What is your take?
Crime, violent crime. Let me tell you about violent crime. I'm the one that cleared up what people were calling Taj Mahal, Bell Park Towers.
I spent the past year, because I have over 50 clients over there with a population in that tower of 244 tenants, 80% of which are seniors. Everyone over there knows who I am, even management. And that used to be ran by the city of Baltimore until they sold it to a private, which I believe are still partners. So I told the drug entrepreneurs, because I actually went live and did Z-Bay behind the scenes, 490-something episodes, and did 3 or 4 of them. And I videoed where the police was sitting on the parking lot over there in the little shopping strip. And I told the entrepreneurs, anytime I could get out of my car to go see a client, and I'm watching a young man pull out a big bag of drugs and serve a person right in front of those towers. And they have in there, I went in and I told security, do you realize that you have a drug entrepreneur right in front of you? And they went berserk. I'm not dying or getting killed for nobody. If you want to call 911, you call. So I went back out, my husband right behind me, and I went on live. And after I did that live, and I called 911. After I did that live, the guy came up to me and he said, some of us, no, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. I said, yeah, well, there's thousands that do. And he said, well, we do what we want. We do what we want. And I said, and I tell you what, when I become mayor, I won't tolerate open drug marketing on the streets of my city. Not going to happen under my leadership. I said, so guess what? I'm going to create the opportunities for you drug entrepreneurs that are dealing the wrong and selling the wrong product that's killing people in our community.
Wow.
And Kenny kind of walked. Kenny gave that daggone Southeast DC, and Main Man kind of stepped off, right? But guess what? They respected me. And some of them have I think, linked up with certain people and follow me on Z-Bay behind the scenes. Well, I can't go in the street without a youngin' know me by the Z-Bay, because I've helped a lot of people here, a lot of people. I've already invested $50,000 of my own dollars just for different people and organizations since I've been here. And so I want to do more. I have a plan. And so what I'm saying is I even spoke to Commissioner Harrison twice. I've been on WB.
Hold on a second.
I was the one that told him to test. Yeah, Commissioner Harrison. I talked to him twice. You'll see it on my live.
Was he eating lunch?
Excuse me?
Was he eating lunch?
No. So I spoke to him, and I told him, I'm running for mayor. I'm going to give you every tool that you need in order to really fulfill your 26-page plan. Because I read his 26-page plan. It's a it's a really solid strategic plan, but it's going to take time. I've also met with the committee, which is like a watchdog between community and DOJ. I've done a lot of work here, okay? And so if you guys follow me, and the candidates have been following me, because when I was at a working meeting over there in Sandtown back in February, and I told them that Z-Bay would help them to organize where they can start coming together and bringing community together with community police officers so that y'all could start rebuilding the trust again. I was the one talking about community policing 2 years ago. I went and talked to Commissioner Harrison and put him up against the wall when Fox 45 was there and asked him would he test the surveillance plane technology, because I've come from being a CEO of a high-tech firm, so I know what the technology is about. And I've read the 54-page study done by University of Maryland. I've spoken to people at the ACLU about even the constitutional legalities of it. So I've done my homework. None of these candidates have done the work that I've done since I've been here in Baltimore City. So I'm happy to see that he's now using You know, Mary, I'm not going to get into Mary Miller because Mary Miller may be maybe the candidate that I debate, and they've been even looking to follow me and using a lot of my talk on their forums. So we're not going to go there. I'm just looking forward to either it's going to be Mary Miller, either it's going to be Taraj. Taraj shook my hand. He respects me a great deal. It may be Sheila Dixon. But I'm ready for the debate, to debate any of them.
All right, well,
I'm in this to win it.
I got you. Let me hold off here a second. Take a commercial break. And so for those who are listening, and if you have an opinion, you have a question to ask in this virtual town hall, you can call in at 1-914-205-5353, 1-914-205-5353. And if you have a question to ask, make sure it's legitimate, then you can call in and ask the question. We want to say also that on Saturday, on the 30th, starting at 5:30 p.m., hopefully without any technical difficulties, we're going to have the birthday broadcast where it's roast the host. When you can actually call in to give me the age-appropriate communical that you've been trying to get to me for quite some time. And by all means, look on our Facebook page at the Facebook event page, Destiny Changers, and it says the birthday broadcast for the Music Man. God bless you. And so as we come back from that brief commercial break, let's ask the Queen, what is your assessment of this candidate? What do you think of her?
I look at her, I'm listening to her, I see her with a positive mind, and I know that she is saying that she would do well in whatever her goal is, because she speaks very positive, and I like everything that she said.
Very good, very good. All right, let's go back here, and so we're back. Baltimore used to be the sixth largest city in America, 949,700 residents. Now it's down to 597,000, down to the 10th, with a poverty level of 22.4, which is pretty. We haven't even gotten into the unemployment side, which is double the national. So how would you handle that?
Well, I see that once again, Jack Young heard me when I did the interview at the memorial event down at Fort McHenry yesterday, as we welcomed and as we paid homage to all of our fallen vets and our war heroes. My dad and my uncle, as well as my father-in-law, were veterans. And so first and utmost, we gave homage to them yesterday at Fort McHenry. And then we also greeted and gave our respects to the President of the United States of America and First Lady as they flew in, and they did such a great entrance to even let us know that they saw us and they were acknowledging our presence as we were there celebrating Memorial Day. And we did keep our social and the CDC guidelines, contrary to what some people in the community that came from that area. But I got to meet a lot of people in that community, and a lot of them are Republicans. Some of them were Democrats, but they were people and they were community. And I was able to be introduced as one of the Republican mayoral candidates, and we got a lot done. I was interviewed by one of the networks, and I once again lend my voice of reasoning and my mindset to Jack Young, Mayor Jack Young. And I said, look, Mayor Young, you can no longer keep blaming or waiting on the state. You are the leader of Baltimore City. You know, we need to be using the same approach that the guidelines from CDC, the guidelines from the White House, when it comes to the financial team task force, when it comes to reopening. If you continue to think that you're going to keep Baltimore City closed until August, listen to me, because that's what he said. And I said, we will suffer so tremendously till it'll be like nothing you've ever seen before. I said, businesses cannot do that. I've been in the financial industry. I've helped over 24 small businesses get the PPL money and the EIDL money. I was able to help people apply for their stimulus. I was able to under the CARE Act. I've helped so many people because I've done about 15 Zooms during the stay-at-home order. I'm an essential worker, so I have my letter from the U.S. Department of Treasury as well as Kemper that I ride around with in case I'm pulled over. But so that I had that with me yesterday as well. And so my thing is, if you want to develop a relationship and you really had a plan to really redevelop Baltimore City, they don't. That's not on their agenda here in Baltimore City. Even though you have to open those small businesses, the wave is downward right now. But I'm going to tell you why Baltimore has a downward wave right now. I've had five people have died in the homeless from the shelters. I've had 2 of my clients that have passed away. My son's uncle, my ex-brother-in-law, but he still will always be my baby brother, passed away 3 days ago. Now, so we have to keep the vulnerable at home. We have to make sure that they're safe. We have to make sure that we reiterate that you have to be in public with a mask, and you must keep your 6 feet distance. If you're we've always had the grocery stores and the liquor stores in Baltimore open, so we can still do it in a responsible fashion. And if people aren't willing to be responsible, then there has to be a consequence.
I got to say this now,
but
because
we have to reopen Baltimore.
Okay, we're down to about 40 seconds now. I'm not a fan of Jack Young. From what I understand, back proven that he's not the leader. He's not. He's outman, outgunned. But if we're talking about being responsible, like I now gotta say this because we keep it real here.
Right.
Then the free world should come to Baltimore, wear a mask, out of respect for what he's doing. So let me get off that for a second and get to this. And how will folks be able to vote for you? Because we're almost out of time. And,
you can vote for me by right now between today, tomorrow, or any day up until 8 p.m. on June the 2nd. There is 7 different locations that will be open for polling on June the 2nd. Of course, you've got to keep your social distance. You have to wear a mask. But you can call, or you could go to maryland.elections.gov/elections, and you can register, but you will have to ask for a Republican ballot. I'm that first name on the Republican ballot. Right now, I am leading in the red Maryland polls on the Republican card. Or you could go to Zulieka, that's Zulieka Baysmore, Baysmore, 2020.com, and you will get an opportunity to read my entire platform and my plans for Baltimore City.
Are you on the phone?
You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter as well.
Okay. Well, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm pretty impressed. We have good candidates here on this program, and I hate to say this, but not that I hate to say it, but I'm going to throw out a challenge. All the candidates that I've talked to that have been sharp and to the point and know what they're doing and got a vision have all been black, real black women candidates. I don't see the men pulling up anything. I love it.
Okay. All right. And tell the Queen thank you so much. I've always have y'all in my prayers. I love your work. Just keep up the good work. And anytime you would have me on, or you need me to do something, you got my number. Just call me. My number has not changed.
Oh, I found out today. It didn't change, and we are so grateful. Also, tell your husband, the 3-time world champion, that from a distance, that I could take him. Just let him know.
He's listening in. He's getting ready to come and say hello to you.
What happened?
That's Pastor Steve.
Hey, my friend, how you doing, buddy? I've always respected you. Something to tell you, sir. We have a lot of respect for you, sir. Lots of big respect. I was just thinking the other day. I said, I was telling my wife, I sure do respect the 3-time world champion, Brother Kenny Baysmore. What was his fight name? I said, what was his ring name? Did he have a ring name? Okay. Is he talking? Is he still there? Did they go? Okay.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
It was the technician.
That's right, the technician. And
right, Kenny the technician Baysmore.
That's right, and I think I remember that. And I do not want any trouble whatsoever. So.
You don't want any trouble.
Yes, you made me say that.
Okay, I will talk to you guys later. I have one more virtual event to do, but thank you for having me on.
God
you guys be blessed.
All right. Now.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Lyra, Queen.
Yes.
We're still on air, but I just want to tell you that your man, your husband, was not scared of 3-time world champion Kenny the technician Baysmore. because I'm a real black host. And we love black here at Radio 1 program. I'm going to make sure that I keep my hat and shades on. Yes, and so thank you again. Any parting words you want to say, oh Queen?
Por favor. You got that? Por favor. Mantente segura. Mantente segura. Por favor. Mantente segura means please be safe.
Oh, I like that. Okay. All right. Well, please be safe and via con Dios, go with God. And so, in closing, we want to say that although the society has said that black is dirty and black is unclean, black is unpurified, the first mention of the word queen in the Bible came actually as they described one of the baddest queens of all times. It was in 1 Kings chapter 10, verse 1, the Queen of Sheba. Yeah. And she was so bad that she on Solomon in his wisdom, a Jewish king, and they ended up actually, well, this is an adult program, they actually had an affair. Oh my goodness, and a black queen and a Jewish king. So we're entitled, black folks are entitled to the attributes and the accolades and the same awards that Jewish folks have, because we're more Jewish than they are. God bless you. Zipporah was a wife of Moses. And she came from Africa, out of the land of Ethiopia. In Numbers 12:1, she was like that Moses' sister and his Miriam and his brother Aaron were upset him that he was with and wanted to be in love with and married a black woman. Didn't tell you that in the history books, did it? So we are more entitled and as titled to the Hebraic as the Jews of any society. Yes, and Pharaoh was also translated as the Sun King. Was in the northern Africa region in looks like here Proverbs or Psalms 125 and 27, and so he overruled Egypt. And Ham, the son of Noah, helped Noah build the ark. Ham is when you think of Ham, thinking of relating to a pig, swine, dirty. But Ham was actually so impressive that he was the son of Noah, and he helped to build the ark, which saved the world. Oh, he was a hero. He would be a first responder. Wow. What's up with that? Okay. And his son actually inherited, did you hear what I just said? Inherited Africa. Does that sound like somebody who's nobody? Black is beautiful, baby. Nimrod, so I'll close out with that, was the grandson of Ham. And he actually built the city of Babylon, which he talks about in the Bible. Okay, so what we're looking at basically is that he's a king. The list is rather endless of kings. And then we have to go to the King of Kings, and that is Christ, the Christos, Yeshua, ben Joseph, son of Joseph, in the land that they were in. It said his feet like and his hair like wool. Oh my goodness. And I don't know any European man that's got wool like hair, except he be real black. So let's just close out with that. We've been lied to, cheated on, killed, stolen inventions and everything from the potato chips to the light by Granville T. Collins. We are somebody because God made us where we are. And so if you're jealous, if you don't like it, you don't like the fact that we have better skin or can age better, listen, don't get upset. Don't get mad. Thank God for what you got. Thank God for who you are. Thank God for the skin that you're in. And when you get a chance to vote, vote. Make your choices and selections clear. At least you have a choice of what selections you can do. Because an educated voter is a powerful voter. And that's all we want to say. This has been Elevation Radio 1. Checking out the Music Man. Don't forget the birthday broadcast on Saturday at 5:30. And we thank you also for the gracious time of the Queen. Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a great day.
God bless you.